From carrots to banana peels, humans have found some interesting ways to make vegan bacon. I'm putting 5 of those ways to the test, and I'm gonna tell you which one is the best. It's time to learn and grow together, starting now. For full recipes and more, check out the link in the description. Hitting it viral, Tabitha Brown had the vegan community abuzz with talks about crispy vegan bacon. Tabitha's friendly, non-judgmental, and relatable approach has almost everybody wanting to try it, making that our first stop. Whisk together some liquid smoke, maple syrup, smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of pepper. Wash a large carrot and then using a vegetable peeler, remove the outside. Once done, run the peeler lengthwise down the carrot, pressing somewhat firmly so that it creates a thin, yet substantial ribbon. Place this in the marinade and continue with your carrot until you cannot peel anymore. Tabitha cooks hers in an air fryer at 380 degrees Fahrenheit or 194 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes. She also mentions baking them in the oven. Using this traditional method, place the marinated carrots on a cooling rack. Bake at 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 148 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes, or until lightly golden brown. Make sure to flip and rotate the bacon halfway through, and once ready, remove from the cooling rack immediately to prevent sticking. Next up on the chopping block, organic banana peel. This one actually got a hard pass from Tabitha.
Not on my birthday.
But I wanted to try it for myself. Cut off both ends of the banana and then peel the banana, creating large strips. Using a spoon, scrape out some of the inner flesh and then place them in the marinade. After 5 to 10 minutes, lightly fry the banana peels with a little olive oil and then place them on a cooling rack. Bake the peels at 300 degrees until crisp. Furthering my dive into vegan bacon, I discovered I'm not the first to attempt such a plant-based escapade of bacon substitution, not by a long shot. The YouTube creator Saustache has been testing vegan bacon as well as other vegan analog recipes for some time now. Old Saucy has his own marinade recipe that I'd like to share, with some modifications to make it gluten-free. Whisk together 2 tablespoons of lightly flavored oil. He has this listed as optional. 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, 1 teaspoon MSG, 1 table... what? Why did we stop? Oh, that old bit. Now, I can make a whole video about MSG. It's a bit controversial. I will only say that it's a naturally occurring ingredient that makes foods such as tomatoes savory. There's not enough research to conclude its side effects, and I personally believe that it has its use in moderation. If you don't want to use it, leave it out. 1 tablespoon of liquid smoke, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, a pinch of paprika, lastly gluten-free tamari and black pepper to taste. With that together, I'm eager to try out rice paper bacon. Taking 2 sheets of rice paper, hold them together. Submerge them in a shallow tray of water so that they begin to stick, essentially forming 1 thick sheet of rice paper. Drip off the excess water and then place it on a cutting board. Cut rice paper into desired size strips, placing them in the marinade. Allow this to soak for 5 to 10 minutes, and then using a small amount of oil, fry the rice paper until nice and crispy. Allow the bacon to rest on a cooling rack after cooking. Next we have Saustache's very own Daikon radish bacon. Finding these massive root vegetables can be a bit more difficult, but I'm able to find them regularly at my local Asian grocery. Wash the root and then peel off the outer layer. Cut off the ends so that you can stand the daikon up, making it easy and safe to cut a large rectangular shape. Just like I did with the carrot, run the peeler lengthwise down the daikon, creating large ribbons. Next, on a clean kitchen towel, lay the daikon down. Sprinkle the slices with a little coarse salt, such as kosher. This step triggers happy parts in my culinary brain because it shows me that he's thinking. Salt will pull moisture from the daikon, leaving more room for flavor, and will help make the end result more crispy. After about 5 to 10 minutes, remove the salt from the radish and then place it in the marinade. After a little alone time in the soak, fry it up with olive oil until golden brown. I stopped my research here. It's simple. Create strips of a desired replacement, soak it in a smoky, umami-driven marinade, and then air fry, bake, or traditional fry until golden brown. Time for my own approach. Whisk together 1/4 cup of apple juice, 1/4 cup of liquid aminos, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast, 1 teaspoon of tomato paste, 1/4 teaspoon of celery seed, a pinch of paprika, and some black pepper to taste. Cutting at an angle with a wide bias, thinly sliced tempeh into strips. I fired up my mini smoker with some apple wood and smoked my tempeh for 10 to 15 minutes. If you're not feeling as tenacious, simply add 1 tablespoon of liquid smoke to the marinade. After smoking, I then allowed the tempeh to rest on a baking sheet with the marinade poured over it. I then removed it and fried it with a little olive oil. 5 different analogs, 3 different marinades later, and we're ready for a taste test. Creating a scorecard, I invited my normal bacon-eating roommate to taste test with me. Keeping it blind, I had him pick the bacon. We then scored on appearance, smell, texture, flavor, and ultimately if we'd eat the bacon again. I then revealed to him what the bacon was made of. To help keep the judging a little more pure, we took breaks periodically between each taste test. And now it's time for some results. After making each bacon about 3 times each and doing my own personal tests, I found the marinades to each be very tasty and useful. Tabitha Brown's featured a sweet, smoky flavor that was easy to whip up and had a comforting appeal. Sausdash's was savory with a more realistic bacon flavor, and mine was close behind with just a touch of apple. Most of the helpful information came together from trying out the different analogs. Not all bacon replacements are alike. From worst to best, let's note each. Number 5, the worst hands down. I feel that the banana bacon was horrible. Its texture did not work well. I should have listened to Tabitha on that one, and both me and my roommate would not try it again. The only thing it kinda had going for it was its appearance. Number 4, I hate to admit it, but it was my tempeh. My roommate liked it and said he would try it again, and I agree, I would too, but it just wasn't very bacony. The texture was off and so was the appearance. It also didn't absorb much of the flavor, so possibly marinating more would help. This has its uses elsewhere, but not as a bacon. Number 3 in the middle, we have carrot bacon. It had an alright appearance, but I could tell it was a carrot. My roommate said it tasted too much like carrots for him, but I didn't mind that myself. The thing that bothered me was the difficulty on not getting a burnt flavor. I'd definitely like to try this again in an air fryer. Number 2, Daikon bacon. I really enjoyed the appearance and the light crispy texture, and as much as the step got me excited, I did struggle with not making it salty. I have a culinary degree and I still messed up my first 2 batches, so I would possibly consider skipping the salt and just allow it to dry on a kitchen towel instead. And number 1, the one that impressed both myself and my roommate, was the rice paper bacon. I really had few complaints. The only thing that bothered me about this one is that if it wasn't cooked properly, some of the undercooked parts would be overly chewy instead of having a nice chew. Now there's only one thing left to do. Put down a little toasted bread, a generous spread of vegan mango, lettuce, tomato, seasoning, avocado, and some rice paper bacon. Your plant-based BLT is here. Hopefully you learned something here that you can use at home. If you found some value, make sure to give it a thumbs up so that it can grow and help more people. What kind of vegan bacon have you tried at home? If you're new to the Veggie Nerd, my name is Eric. I'm a vegan culinary graduate that makes diet-restricted content as well as occasional nerdy recipes. If you'd like to empower your self-care through cooking, make sure to subscribe so you're not missing out. Our cooking adventures don't have to stop here. If you'd like to see how I made a diabetic-friendly ravioli, click the video on the screen now to check it out. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.